The silence atop the plateau was not a void of sound, but a heavy, deliberate pressure, a vacuum that seemed to suck the very breath of life from the lungs of anyone daring to tread there. In the high desert of the American Southwest, where the air should have been crisp, there was instead an oily, metallic tang. Elias sat in the shadow of his weathered observation shack, watching the horizon with eyes that had seen far too much of the night. The stars did not twinkle here. They hung like cold, unblinking lanterns in an ocean of ink. Tonight, they seemed to be pulsing in a slow, rhythmic cadence that matched the uneasy thrumming in his own chest. The desert was a place of ancient stillness, yet the ground beneath his boots felt strangely hollow. The wind had died completely, leaving behind a stillness so profound it felt like a physical weight. Every pebble and withered shrub stood in stark, terrifying clarity under a moon that cast shadows where no light should have fallen. It was as if the environment had been replaced by a high-fidelity replica, a stage set prepared for a performance no human should witness. The first signs were subtle. The coyotes had vanished. In their place, Elias found vultures perched motionless on the saguaros. Their heads were turned 180 degrees to face the sky, unblinking and unresponsive to stone or shout. Then came the technological failures. His shortwave radio stopped receiving human signals. It emitted a sound like the rhythmic grinding of heavy glass, punctuated by mathematical sequences, chanted in a voice with too many vocal cords. The air around the shack began to shimmer with an oily purple-green glow that clung to the edges of objects. Time itself began to stutter. He would blink and realize 3 hours had passed, his water now a block of warm ice. As the days bled into a singular, agonizing present, Elias's mind began to unravel. He doubted the solidity of his own flesh. His skin seemed translucent, revealing a network of veins that pulsed with a dark, violet ichor instead of crimson blood. The grinding glass sound had migrated from the speakers into the marrow of his bones. He began to see patterns in the dust-complex, fractal diagrams that mapped out star systems he didn't recognize. The words that came out of his mouth were discordant glottal stops and sibilant hisses that carved his throat. One night, the roof of the shack simply ceased to exist, erased from the continuum. Above him, the sky was a vast, pulsating membrane of tissue, through which he could see the others. They were colossal, multi-dimensional structures of crystalline meat and shifting light, moving like leviathans through deep water. One of them descended, a nightmare of non-Euclidean angles. It had no face, yet it saw him with 1,000 prismatic apertures. To these beings, humanity was not even an ant to be crushed. We were the bacteria on the skin of a fruit. He felt his memories being harvested, his very essence being converted into data for their incomprehensible archives. When the sun rose, the shack was gone, leaving only a perfectly circular patch of vitrified sand. Elias was found wandering miles away, his skin scorched and his eyes replaced by 2 spheres of polished black obsidian. He sat in the ambulance, his head tilted at a 180-degree angle, staring up at the empty sky. Elias was no longer there. He was a hollowed-out vessel, a radio tuned to a frequency human ears were never meant to hear. The plateau remained a place of ancient stillness, the stillness of a graveyard waiting to be integrated into the cosmic dark.